And so, you think about it, they're like, you have to pay your taxes.
Oh, that's what I meant to say.
That's a
Sorry.
mental constraint. You know what I mean? It's only if you disregard the mental constraint will they come at you with physical force. But for the most part, like, if you went through your life and you didn't work an above board job, you just worked under the table for everybody, and you just rented a place, and you just from a everywhere and shit, you'd never have to pay any tax. You'd be paying taxes on like GST of shit you bought. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you never pay income tax. You never pay anything. Like, you wouldn't even need your social insurance number. Nothing. Like, you could literally live as just a person, partly in the system. But as soon as you want to actually engage any of the benefits of the system, you got to pay the tax, right? It's like they've created it so that it's like, if you're going to be a part of something, if you're going to exist in the world, and then slowly what's happening is any place that exists outside of that is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? Like, you can't just go move to the middle of nowhere now. Everywhere in the world is owned by somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, if you move to a little island, no, that island's owned by this country. You know what I mean? Or like, you can't just go to the middle of the Northwest Territories here. It's like, that's Northwest Territories. It's owned by Canada. If you really tried to make a colony out there with like 50 or 100 people, and y'all started killing it because you used some cool nuclear technology and started doing your own shit, dug out a little bit of uranium from the ground on your own, and started doing your own shit up there, had your own hydroponics and fucking aquaponics, and like had fish and food and
Some
vegetables,
space weed.
and all of a sudden started doing well for yourself, and then people were finding out about it and sharing that, you'd have fucking military on your, even you'd have military on your doorstep way before that, because you'd be like
Oh yeah.
searching on the satellite and be like, what's this weird thermal signature out in the middle of the Northwest Territories? And they'd zoom in and they'd be like,
Element 15,
what
115.
what is this? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Element
I don't
115. Have you heard of that?
no.
Like the Bob or the Bob something. This guy who's like fucking. There's one guy like who was like an old like a scientist. Sorry, I'm chopping this up, but he just had like this element 115 that was like related to UFOs. And then
Oh yeah.
there's another guy who like I think he had some or he was just like reporting it and they fucking came to his house and just shot him in his driveway. His name's like Bill something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar I think maybe is his name, but correct me in the comments if you guys know what I'm talking about, but same deal. Like he took some home or even just talked about classified shit and they're like wasn't good for them.
Just the concept alone that it's like classified shit at all, that it's like
weird.
There's people in our country, guys our age, or maybe like 10 years older, and they're like, yo, I can know this stuff, but you can't. You know what I mean? It's like, who are you?
I think there's
Who are
some
you
shit
as
that might
anybody
create
to
mass
say-
hysteria if they
Well-
weren't like born into it and like being like, yeah, by the way, it's like
Well, yeah,
if they're
because-
everything's a lie and everything's a fucking joke and we all like like I don't know, it's just like
well,
they have to
like,
keep it this big fucking
it is
dra-
and it
like,
isn't, right? Like,
this
everything's
curtain.
not a lie. Everything's the way it is. But when you start to see that, like, the systems are kept this way, the like the inequity, the poverty we were talking about is kept that way so that we can have these conveniences. You know what I mean? It's if you give everybody, you can't force me to come do something for you if I make a ton of money. If I'm comfortable and my family's comfortable and I just want to relax on a Sunday night, why would I come fix your plumbing?
Do you think
You know what I mean?
do you think
Why would
we
you-
can't
why would
like
you do any of these like jobs that people don't want to do? You wouldn't show up to work and work 12 hours of backbreaking work if you're, you know what I mean? Unless you have pride in what you're doing. And the thing is that a lot of the things around the world, a lot of the service industries are not prideful.
no
Like-
that's what do you
like
believe
you were saying about killing the food.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
but do you like think that we have to have the monetary system to
Yeah.
survive?
Yeah.
We have to have
There's got to be a system of exchange. The fact that we need the monetary system.
why do we have to have
but
this
we don't
the
need
exchange
it-
though?
We don't need to have. Well, because how are you going to get anything, right?
Or else I won't do fuck all for any or but I always think that maybe there's still be those people who are like born scientists or born whatever,
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
they get paid or whatever.
For sure.
But
No,
you know,
I,
like,
I think that the way the system is set up is not correct, and is and then harvest it and cook it and eat it yourself. Or
This is insane.
if someone else does it for you,
yeah.
you have to compensate them for what the energy is that actually took. And instead, what we do is we go and we say, hey, like for myself as example, I'm going to draw a picture today, and then I'm going to poke it into your skin, which, to be frank, like I fully value my job, and I'm not saying don't come get a tattoo, but I'm saying is like in the system of economics, that's getting me a certain value for my time. Now, this is something that's going to last on you for the rest of your life. So that's why the value should be there, because I'm supposed to be doing something that you're plants or vegetable plants. Like when it comes time to actually cut the thing down, you're like, oh, like not everybody is, but some people who are in tune with certain eating the meat without appreciating the sacrifice. It's just some cube in a store that allows some other guy out there to send some other dude